So you've purchased TrackEd for your school, you've received the application from us as an email, and you're wondering, how do I get started? What are my first steps to getting running with TrackEd? So this video, we're just going to take you through those first steps, starting with the email that you've received from us. So there are three main sections here, and we'll walk you through those three sections in this video. So firstly, you can see how many users that you're licensed for, what you've purchased there. You can see your next renewal date, so when this will renew in 12 months' time. And we also got a link here which has all of the installation details for FileMaker Pro Advanced. Now, FileMaker is required for each of your users to be installed on the computer so that they can use TrackEd. If you've got 5 or more users, you also qualify for FileMaker Server, which is installed by your IT team. And the links for both of those are available at this link. Now I've got this open in the background here, and you can see it'll look something like this with your license key in this section. You'll have a Mac 32-bit and 64-bit downloader for the FileMaker Pro Advanced installer. And we recommend you download probably the 32-bit one, but whatever matches your version of Outlook that is on your computer. The best way to check what version of Outlook you've got running is to open Outlook, do Control-Alt-Delete and Task Manager. Have a look at your processes, and if it's got something 32 on the end, it's the 32-bit version of Outlook, and you should install the same version of FileMaker so that the emailing works in TrackEd. If it doesn't have 32-bit listed there, you can install the 64-bit one just so they don't both match. Okay, we're going to jump to a different screen now. It'll be a Windows-based screen, and we'll walk you through this installation process. Okay, we're in Windows now. We've downloaded the FileMaker installer, and we're just going to launch that. Yes, I'd like to run this. It's going to extract the installer. English. We're going to install the necessary libraries. And now we're into the wizard. And we're going to start with a full version. You can set your username, that might be your MIS. In the organization, we're going to put Intratec, which is INTRITEC. And in the license key here, we're going to paste in the license key from the email that we've sent out. For anyone who uses the computer, next, I accept. And it'll use the default path. We can choose a complete, and desktop quick launch bar, go. And so that's now going to run the install process. Once that's finished, FileMaker Pro will be installed on this computer, and we'll be able to access the TrackEd application in the next step. Okay, so you've got FileMaker Pro installed now, and we're back to that original email and the second step of that, where we're going to have a look at the TrackEd application folder. Now that's actually been attached to this email. That's this TrackEd application.zip file. I've saved this to my computer. I've right-clicked and I've extracted the contents into its own folder. And this is the TrackEd application folder here. Now the email is going to tell you what's in that folder, and it's also going to give you the username and password for opening that for the first time. So here is my folder. You'll see in here the TrackEd 3 import guide. You'll also see the backups folder, where every time we do an import, we'll save a backup of the system in there. We have the TrackEd photos file, and then finally the main file, which is tracked.fmp12. And when we open this, that's actually going to launch FileMaker Pro, where I put in the username and password that we've been given on the email. So I'm just doing this, and we'll sign in. That will launch FileMaker Pro, as I said. That will open up the TrackEd system. The very first time we open this, it's going to come up with this user agreement, which I'm going to read very thoroughly, and then I'm going to choose I accept. Okay, that will then take us, in this case, straight to the import page, because it knows that it's an empty version. Normally it'll land you on the home page. And from here we can choose either the primary imports or the secondary imports, and they're all listed down the left hand side of the page here, and there's a scroll wheel to access extra ones. So back to the email now, we're up to step 3. We've got this open and it's telling us to open up the import guide. Initially, these first 4 imports are a good place to start. So the student summary import will create new students in your system. The NAPLAN summary import, the subject results imports, and with that one we recommend importing a bit of a history of information and start from the oldest data first, going through to the most recent results data that you've got, and finally the photos import. Okay, so you'll find how to do these imports in the import guide. So let's open that up. This is the import guide here, and this is the front page, and on this front page we've listed all of the imports that are available, what years they're relevant for, a bit of a planning guide as to how often you might do them, some notes about that as well, and which page of the guide that they're on. So you can decide which imports you're wanting to do. If you do those first 4 that I mentioned before, so student summary, NAPLAN summary, student results and student photos, that's going to be the majority of the information in TrackEd that you're going to need day to day will be imported. And then you can have a look at all of the other imports that are available. You can decide which ones are important to your school. You can decide how often that you're going to do them in your school context. But it's just really important to know that you don't need to do all of these imports right from the very beginning. Now we're going to do a separate video on how to actually run these imports. We'll show you how this happens, but on this import guide, if I scroll through, this is an example. This is the student summary import. It tells you in the other program that we're using what steps to take, what report to generate, what format to save it in, and then in TrackEd, what you would then do to bring that information in. Okay, so that's the import guide. That's how you do the basics of getting started with TrackEd. I hope this is helpful, and please watch the rest of our videos that are available on the support website, so support.trackedapp.com.au, and the video training guide to see all the rest of our videos.